You know what? You can't walk into a bank asking for a $75,000 business loan and hand them a 3-page Google Doc with your ideas. That's not a NEMT business plan. That's a wish list. And brokers? Of course, they're not contracting with operators who can't prove operational viability. They need documentation showing you understand this industry, market analysis, financial projections, compliance strategy, the complete picture. Without a proper business plan, you're not getting funded. You're not getting broker contracts. And you're definitely not scaling past 3 vehicles. But with the right NEMT startup plan, you're approved for financing. You're signing broker agreements. And you're building credibility that opens every door in this industry. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact 9 sections every NEMT business plan template needs. We're breaking down what lenders want to see, what brokers require for contracts, and what you can copy directly into your own plan starting today. Plus, there's a downloadable NEMT business plan template in the description that includes all of these sections pre-formatted and ready to customize. Let's get into it. Section number 1, Executive Summary, the make or break page. Let's start with the section that matters most, the Executive Summary. This is the first page lenders read. It's also the last page you actually write. Here's why. The Executive Summary is a snapshot of your entire NEMT business plan, your mission statement, your market opportunity, your financial projections, your funding requirements. If this page doesn't grab attention, they're not reading the rest. So what goes in an Executive Summary for your NEMT startup plan? First, state your business concept clearly. Example: Safe Ride NEMT provides wheelchair-accessible transportation for Medicaid beneficiaries and private pay clients in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. In one sentence, they provide clear service, clear location. Second, include your mission and vision. Your mission explains why you exist. Your vision explains where you're going in the next 3 to 5 years. Third, summarize your market opportunity. The U.S. NEMT market was valued at $3.5 billion in 2024. It's expected to reach $5.1 billion by 2030. That's a 6.5% annual growth rate driven by aging populations and expanded Medicaid coverage. Put those numbers in your plan. Fourth, outline your financial projections. Year 1 revenue target, break-even timeline, profitability projections for years 2 and 3. Be realistic but ambitious. Fifth, specify your funding requirements. How much capital do you need? What's it for? Vehicles, insurance, licensing, operations. Break it down. Write this section last, after you've completed every other section. Then you can accurately summarize everything without guessing. Quick favor, if this NEMT business plan breakdown is making sense so far, hit that like button. It helps YouTube show this to more operators who need it. Takes half a second. Section number 2, Company Description and Market Need. Moving to Section 2 of your NEMT business plan template, Company Description. This section defines who you are and what problem you solve. Start with your business structure, like choosing between LLC, S Corp, or C Corp. Consult a lawyer for personalized advice. Then explain your ownership structure. Are you a sole proprietor? Partnership? What percentage does each owner hold? Then explain the market need you're addressing. It's exactly like, according to CMS, NEMT is a required Medicaid benefit. That creates consistent nationwide demand. But don't just say, people need rides. Get specific about your market. For example, you need to explain it like, in our service area, 47,000 Medicaid beneficiaries require transportation to medical appointments monthly. Current providers serve approximately 31,000 trips, leaving a 16,000 trip gap. Have you noticed the difference now? Through this way of explaining, you're showing lenders there's real demand. You're not guessing. You've done research. Also include your competitive advantage here. What makes you different among them? What specialized vehicles you have? Do you have bilingual drivers? Do you provide 24/7 availability? Technology integration? Document it clearly in your business plan. Section number 3, Service Offerings, what you're actually providing. Continue to Section 3 of your NEMT startup plan. Service offerings. You need to clearly outline every transportation service your company provides. Ambulatory transport for patients who can walk, but need assistance getting to appointments. Wheelchair-accessible transport for patients using manual or power wheelchairs. Stretcher transport for patients who can't sit upright during transport. Bariatric transport for patients requiring specialized equipment due to weight. Don't list services you can't actually provide. If you don't have stretcher vans, don't offer stretcher transport. Lenders and brokers will verify your claims. Defining services helps clarify vehicle needs, staffing requirements, and pricing strategy. When you specify wheelchair-accessible transport, lenders understand why you need $45,000 for a converted van instead of $25,000 for a standard vehicle. Also specify any specialized services, like dialysis transport 3 times weekly, discharge transport from hospitals, behavioral health appointments requiring specialized driver training. These specialized services often generate higher reimbursement rates, so highlighting them strengthens your NEMT business plan. Section number 4, Market Analysis, Proving Demand Exists. Moving to Section 4, Market Analysis. This is where you prove your market opportunity isn't just wishful thinking. You need demographic data, you need competitor analysis, and you need clear evidence that demand exceeds current supply. Start with your service area demographics. According to recent projections, adults aged 65 and older will represent 22% of the U.S. population by 2050. That's your primary customer base growing significantly. But you can't just cite national statistics. Get local data. How many people over 65 live in your county? What's the Medicaid enrollment rate? How many dialysis centers operate in your service area? How many hospitals? How many nursing homes? Here's what lenders want to see. They want proof that your target market is large enough to support your revenue projections. They want competitor analysis showing who currently serves this market and where gaps exist. Actually, the competitor analysis section separates strong NEMT business plan templates from weak ones. Don't just list competitor names. Analyze their service coverage. Identify their weaknesses. Are they only operating weekdays, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.? That's a gap you can fill with evening and weekend availability. Do they only serve ambulatory clients? That's where wheelchair-accessible vehicles create a competitive advantage. The goal is showing lenders you've identified a specific market opportunity that current providers aren't adequately serving. Section number 5, Marketing and Sales Strategy. Continue to Section 5 of your NEMT startup plan, Marketing and Sales Strategy. This section explains how you'll actually acquire customers and generate revenue. And in NEMT, customer acquisition looks different than traditional businesses. Your primary customers aren't patients. Your primary customers are Medicaid brokers, hospitals, dialysis centers, nursing homes, and assisted living facilities. These entities control trip volume, so your marketing strategy needs to target them specifically. Start with broker contracting strategy. Which brokers operate in your state? Modivcare, MTM, Logisticare, Access to Care. List the specific brokers you'll target and outline your enrollment timeline. Month 1, complete Medicaid provider enrollment. Month 2, submit applications to 3 primary brokers. Month 3, begin trip assignments. Then, outline your facility partnership strategy. You'll visit dialysis centers offering guaranteed transportation for their patients. You'll partner with hospitals to reduce no-show rates and discharge delays. You'll contract with nursing homes needing regular appointment transport. But there's a marketing component most operators miss when creating their NEMT business plan. That is, digital presence. You need a professional website. You need Google My Business optimization. You need local SEO targeting searches like wheelchair transport near me and Medicaid transportation in your city, kind of keywords, but it shouldn't be stuffing. These strategies generate private pay referrals that supplement broker income. Include specific marketing costs in this section. Website development at $500 to $2,000. Google Ads budget at $300 monthly. printed materials and business cards at $200. Make it tangible. The financial sections I'm about to break down next are what separate NEMT business plan templates that get funded from those that get rejected. But before I walk through these critical numbers, every week we send our Nemiton newsletter subscribers the exact financial projection templates, break-even calculators, and business plan samples the top 10% of NEMT operators use to secure funding. This week's edition includes the complete downloadable NEMT business plan template we're discussing today, already formatted with all 9 sections ready to customize with your specific numbers on Monday morning. The link's in the description. Sign up takes 15 seconds. All right, here's how to structure the financial section that lenders actually approve. Section number 6, financial projections, the numbers that matter. Moving to section 6 of your NEMT business plan, financial projections, which is the very most important factor. This is where most operators completely mess up their plans. They either underestimate costs, overestimate revenue, or present numbers that make zero financial sense. Your financial projections need 3 core components: income statements, cash flow statements, and balance sheets, all projected for 3 years to 5 years at least. Let's start with the income statement. This shows your projected revenue and expenses. A single NEMT van can generate $120,000 to $250,000 annually, depending on mileage rates and trip volume. That's your revenue baseline. But lenders don't just want revenue. They want to see your cost structure clearly. Fixed costs, including vehicle payments, are $600 to $800 monthly. Insurance premiums averaging $3,500 to $7,500 annually per vehicle. Licensing and permits at $1,000 to $3,000 annually. Software subscriptions at $400 to $800 monthly. Then, variable costs. Fuel expenses. Driver wages at $15 to $22 hourly. Vehicle maintenance. These fluctuate with trip volume. Here's the calculation lenders check. Your projected revenue minus your total expenses should show positive net income by month 12 to 18 maximum. If your projections show losses for 3 straight years, you're not getting funded. The cash flow statement is equally critical. This shows when money actually enters and exits your business. Remember that Medicaid reimbursement cycles run 30 to 90 days. You complete trips in January, but receive payment in February or March. That timing gap matters. Your NEMT business plan template needs to show you have enough working capital to cover operational expenses during those payment delays. If you're projecting $12,000 monthly expenses, you need at least $36,000 in reserves or credit lines to survive the reimbursement lag. Section number 7, organizational structure and management team. Continue to section 7, organizational structure and management team. Lenders fund people as much as they fund ideas. This section proves you have the leadership and operational capability to execute your NEMT startup plan. Start with your management team. Who's running this business? What's their background? If you have transportation experience, healthcare experience, or business management experience, highlight it here. If you don't have direct NEMT experience, address it by showing your advisory board or consultants who do. Then outline your organizational structure. For a startup operation, you might be owner-operator initially, but show your growth plan. When will you hire your first driver? At what trip volume will you need a dedicated dispatcher? When does it make sense to bring on an operations manager? Include an organizational chart showing reporting relationships. Show job descriptions for key positions. And specify compensation ranges so lenders understand your staffing costs are realistic. Actually, there's a credibility element here that strengthens any NEMT business plan. Board of Advisors. If you can recruit a former healthcare administrator, a transportation industry veteran, or an accountant familiar with medical billing to your advisory board, document it. These advisors signal to lenders that you're surrounding yourself with expertise you might personally lack. Section number 8, operational plan, day-to-day execution. Moving to section 8 of your NEMT business plan template, which is operational plan. This section explains how your business actually functions day to day. What happens when a trip request comes in? How do you assign drivers? How do you ensure compliance? How do you handle emergencies? Start with your service hours. Are you operating 24/7? Weekdays only? 6 a.m. to 10 p.m.? Be specific because this impacts staffing requirements. Then outline your dispatch process. Are you preferring manual scheduling initially and then moving to automated software after month 3? Because systems like Route Genie at $50 per vehicle monthly or Bambi at $69 per vehicle monthly should be budgeted in your NEMT startup plan if you're planning to automate operations. After this, detail your vehicle maintenance schedule. DOT requires regular inspections and maintenance documentation. Show you understand compliance by outlining 30-day inspection cycles, oil change schedules based on mileage, and emergency repair protocols. Also, address driver training and certification. What credentials do your drivers need? CPR certification? First aid? Wheelchair securement training? How will you ensure compliance with expiring certifications? This operational detail shows lenders you've thought through execution. Not just the big picture, but the actual daily mechanics of running a compliant NEMT operation. Section number 9, Risk Analysis and Contingency Planning. Continue to the final section of your NEMT business plan, Risk Analysis and Contingency Planning. Remember that everything contains inherent risks, but other risks can be controlled with great strategy and plan. Every business faces risks. Lenders know this. They're not rejecting plans because risks exist. They're rejecting plans that ignore risks or fail to address them. Your NEMT startup plan needs to identify potential risks and explain how you'll mitigate them. Vehicle breakdown risk? You'll maintain relationships with backup rental companies and carry comprehensive roadside assistance coverage. Driver shortage risk? You'll maintain a pool of part-time and on-call drivers to cover absences. Insurance cost increases? You'll budget a 10% to 15% annual premium escalation and maintain multiple insurance quotes to stay competitive. Delayed broker payments? You'll maintain 90 days of operating expenses in working capital and establish a business line of credit. Broker contract loss is another risk to address. What happens if your primary broker terminates your contract? You'll diversify across multiple brokers, so no single contract represents more than 30% to 40% of revenue. You'll develop facility partnerships for private pay clients that aren't broker dependent. Actually, the operators with the strongest NEMT business plan templates address one more risk, which is too personal. The personal financial exposure. It means, what if the business fails? How much personal capital are you risking? What's your exit strategy? It shows in detail what you've considered in your worst-case scenarios, and it also demonstrates the strategic thinking lenders want to see. If you're getting value from this NEMT business plan template breakdown, subscribe to the channel. We publish 3 to 4 videos weekly covering profitability, compliance, operations, and scaling. Every video is designed to put more money in your pocket or keep you out of regulatory trouble. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Giving an end to business plan. Keep this in mind that NEMT operators who get funded and operators who get rejected isn't luck. It's preparation. It's having a comprehensive NEMT business plan that addresses every question lenders ask before they even ask it. The 9 sections we just covered aren't optional. They're the framework every successful NEMT startup plan follows. Executive summary, company description, service offerings, market analysis, marketing strategy, financial projections, organizational structure, operational plan, and risk analysis. Download the complete template in the description, customize it with your numbers, and build the NEMT business plan that opens doors. If you found this valuable, subscribe to Nemiton. We're building the only media company focused on NEMT operators who refuse to let lack of planning stop them from building profitable businesses.